I have just 75 words to tell you why you'll enjoy Faye's Amulet and Death's Talisman, the first 2 books in the Lady of Death series from Three Ravens Publishing. Wait, how can I convey that much intrigue, magic, and swagger in 75 words? What about the consigliere, the creatures, the victims, that crazy dragon skull? Just 75 words? Find the Lady of Death books by J.F. Posthumous, narrated by Terry K. Job, on Amazon.
Listen up, you slack-ass minions. The podcast will start in a few, so burn your fucking snuggies, turn off the animal porn, and get your ass ready. Here come the show.
Welcome back to another episode of TDB Pirate Radio, and I'm your host, William Joseph. Somebody's going to get hurt. We got mute. 1, 2, 3.
You're speaking with the tongue of the devil there.
I know. That was pretty cool. Okay, so tonight we will be talking about what we have found that works and what we have found that doesn't work. None of us are bestsellers and top of the list like Brandon Sanderson and some of the others, with the exception of maybe Mel, because I've heard of some of her tales. But respect my surroundings. What the hell? I have no idea what Bo's going on about. But from the mid-list perspective of where we're all at, these are maybe some things that people will be able to utilize and put to use somehow. Because, we don't all learn the same way and function the same way. So maybe something's going to kick over something for somebody. So we will go around, and we lost one. Hopefully he'll be back here in a second. And do our introduction. So, Michael K. Falciani, how about you go first?
All right, I love going first, as you know. I'm Michael K. Falciani. I am the novelist here at Three Ravens. I have written 2 books. The first one is The Raven and the Crow, Dark Storm Rising. That is the beginning of my 6-book series. The second book, I just got in, The Gray Throne. I am excited to be here, and I can't wait to answer questions from those of you online. Thank you for your time.
Megan Mackey. And we will be taking questions from the audience wherever you're at, Facebook, Twitter, and all that other stuff. So, Megan.
Hi, my name is Megan Mackey. I am the author of the Lucky Devil series. This is Finder the Lucky Devil, the first one. And then I just released my new series, Dead World, with Prisoner of the Dead. That just came out earlier this month. And it was -- in new releases. So, got me a banner. I've also written for some RPGs. I was a contributing writer on Legend Lore with Onyx Path, and I did some of their Scarred Land stuff. And then most recently, I wrote on Sirens Battle of the Bands with Apotheosis Studio.
And what did you just recently do this past weekend?
Right. I was the guest of honor, the author guest of honor at Mid-South Con, which was an absolute blast. Talk about taking over a hotel and going crazy.
That is absolutely epic. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Hope to be there one day. That would be beautiful. All right, Michael J. Allen, you're next in line. Do your little spiel in 11-minute or 11-second elevator. Drink.
Yeah, pick one. Okay. So I'm Michael J. Allen, Star-Lord, USA Today bestselling author of full-spectrum multi-layer science fiction and fantasy. These days, I'm also a Ramsey Preferred Coach, specializing in helping young writers find a way to finance their dreams.
All right, Mel. You're muted. We love you.
I am
Wait,
the
no,
ultimate
hold on.
multitasker.
Let's see. Hold on. All right, do that tongue thing again. Oh, okay.
I'm the ultimate multitasker, so I'm usually typing and doing other things. So I was trying to be good because otherwise I'm constantly accused of using a machine gun while I'm on conference calls. So I forget.
Well,
Hi, I'm
you're
Mel
right here.
Todd. I'm the author of over 30 novels, and I have a best-selling series called Twisted Luck, and I am obviously a little bit weird, as this is my regular hair color. It's natural, really. It's all natural. I herd cats, and I have not killed anybody yet this year.
Well, that's a good thing. Don't cost me bail money, man. All right, Charity.
Hi, I'm Charity Ayers. I'm the author of Madcap, the Loki Bound series. I also have an epic fantasy series that's floating around that'll be out there again, Iceburns, and multiple short stories in a variety of universes. I am an English teacher by day, teaching both college level courses, high school courses, and a lot of creative writing when I don't go to a million different workshops and try to teach there too. So that's always fun.
Well, it looks like Belle's got some followers going on. Oh, and yeah, Charity. Okay, so who wants to go first of what you have found has just absolutely worked for you? I mean, what's your main go-to stick? The thing that you always pass on the knowledge of to younger authors trying to come up. I mean, for me, it's talk to people, reach out, talk to people, ask questions. The answer is always going to be no if you don't ask a question. I mean, Christ, some of the stuff that I've had going on.
See, that's a you thing. You can talk to anybody.
Right. That's a me thing.
And it's one of the things I've been like, can I just hold you in front of me? Because talking to people is hard. The biggest thing that I have found is that I have so many people who say, I have a story idea. My standard response is, great, write it. Because it doesn't matter what idea you have. It can be the most mundane. A boy meets a girl and they fall in love. If you don't go write it, nobody's ever going to see it. So sit down and write it. If you don't like what you wrote, you can then write something different. You're not stuck with the first thing you wrote. I mean, my God, we don't want to talk about the first. The first story I remember involved a Pegasus. Okay, does that tell you how young I was? Yes, he makes a very good shield, especially when I want people to talk to me. I just shove him in front and go, here, talk to William or Scott or Hillbilly, whoever he is today, talk to him. Hi.
We got Maya.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Mel, I'm looking into having a Muppet version of myself made so I can do TikTok. So you can just carry that around. It's much more portable.
That could be
we
fun.
all need portable hillbillies.
What are you saying?
Hillbilly.
I do have a 3D printer if anybody wants to get me a vector design.
Wait, what the hell? You guys are plotting against the minions start plotting against me. Now you guys are plotting against me. What the hell is this shit?
You inspire people.
No, see, that could be a good drinking game. Like you see the Muppet hillbilly walking around, you have to take a drink.
If you
and then
come
we just
up
pop
to
him
me,
up during the podcast.
No. If you come up to me while I have my Muppet Hillbilly, I know who he is. I will give you a drink.
Yeah. See, okay. I managed to clone myself over at Fantasy because me and Melissa. Oh, damn it! I have a hard time with her last name. We swapped panels, so we just swapped name tags too, just because. And it was a blast. So now she's the other hillbilly and I'm the other Melissa. Okay. You done, Mel? Okay. Charity, your turn.
Well, I work with a lot of really young writers, so my focus tends to be simply on rough drafts are shit. What are you laughing at? Oh my God. I can't even answer while you're over there snorting. Oh, yeah, no. You can't control the hillbilly. There is no. The amount of drinking that man can do at any kind of convention or event is staggering. Like I would be dead. I don't know how you.
Yeah. We won't talk about how much Hillbilly and I drank at Superstars.
I close down the bar every night, though.
That is not a surprise.
But it's okay because it's networking. Okay, sorry,
Yes.
Charity. Please continue.
No, it was fine. I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, rough drafts are shit. Okay, we'll just go there, and that's the end of it. And they are. And I tell kids that all the time. I tell adults that all the time. And what do I normally tell someone when they want to get in their own way of being a writer, Scott?
I don't remember at this point.
Just write.
Yeah, just right.
Just don't get in your own way.
A
If it
hillbilly
needs to be
cosplay,
written,
really?
if you're ready, just do it. Yeah, I thought that would be good. A hillbilly cosplay. Can you imagine? I
God.
think we're going to eventually get to that point.
No. Well, okay. So who was it that said that like the first million words are shit and you will throw them away? Was it like Stephen King or?
It was, yeah, I think that was a Stephen King.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
don't
believe
agree with
that. But somebody needs to make yarn little clips for your beard that are braided so that they can cut. We can have that hillbilly cosplay beard clip.
Wait, what the hell kind of tangent are we going down now?
So the first million words, I have issues with that because I don't necessarily think that that's accurate. I think that it requires targeted writing because, yes, if you're just doing random writing, it doesn't matter how many words you do, but you can easily achieve competence within 10, 20, even 30,000 if you're doing consistent targeted writing. If you're just randomly learning how to write, no, yeah, I can see it taking the million words, but
Well, and I think that sentiment is meant more for, it's not going to be perfection. And a lot of people, when they sit down to do their writing, they're like, oh, I'm going to spit out the perfect story the first time through, and it's going to be fabulous, and it's going to be a bestseller. And then they're mad when that's not what happens. And that's where a lot of new writers, a lot of inexperienced writers get frustrated, and they want to throw something away just because they actually have to work at it. They're thinking it's supposed to just be this easy thing that we all just, word vomit onto the page and it's beautiful and that's the end of it.
Megan, or wait, Michael, you were trying to say something a minute ago.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't agree with throwing away what's pre-million words because Mel's right about becoming competent before then. But I can say that the quality of the work, the quality of the ideas and the plots went up a whole octave after I passed 1 million words because I never believed that 1 million words thing until I crossed it. And then all of a sudden, everything was getting contracts because everything had just gotten so much better.
so and I guess I'm trying to remember because I hit 1 million words probably pretty early in my career. However, the caveat is, I wrote fan fiction for a long time. I have 500,000 words in fan fiction, and that doesn't even include that's published fan fiction. I have over 500,000 just in that.
I think it's more. I was a playwright first.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I practiced my character building and my arcs and stuff long before I started describing the room.
See, and I'm thinking it's more of the fact that when you hit that 1 million words, you have actually been writing for a while. And it's not that you've hit that magic number. It's that magic number implies that you're actually serious about writing. Because anybody who's a dilettante is never going to hit that 1 million words. So those of us who live and breathe the idea of story, we pass that 1 million word mark and look back and go, oh, okay. Because we're always looking at the next story, the next universe, the next idea, because I have so many things I want to write. It's like, okay, come on, I can't type fast enough to get them all out.
Yeah. That's always a problem. Okay, hold on. Side tangent real quick. So I've got a stack of them coming in here. Yeah. How the hell did this turn into the Hillbilly Show? I don't know. Yeah. Find the Muppet. La la. Yes, we did drink a lot at Superstars. Who said we're sober?
My hotel bill proved that.
I actually didn't, but it was okay because what little I drank was quite effective.
Yes, read your story out loud is a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 from Maya.
So read your story out loud is one of those things I completely 100% agree with, and I absolutely never ever do because I hate listening to myself read, so I never do it, even though I know I really, 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 really should. So do what I say, not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a set of readers, alpha readers, that I do read out loud to. And when I'm traveling back and forth to conventions, or even half the time to the grocery store, if my daughter is around and actually she's back living with me again, she reads to me. Because between those two reading out louds, I catch a lot of issues. So I love doing it.
I don't have issues with it. I have issues with the time it takes, and time seems to be my Achilles heel. Because, okay, so here's a absolute disclaimer. I read at like 900 words a minute. So, and most people talk about 120. So when you're talking about reading out loud, you're at 120 words a minute. You're talking about reading, I'm at 900 words a minute. Okay. So I need a time turner. Anybody have one for sale, please?
I might be using the day job's time to do my out loud reading, just for the record.
Megan, you had a question or comment.
Well, no, something we were saying earlier about what do we tell new writers and when they're getting started, and something came up during one of the panels actually during Mid-South-Con where someone was asking what really is the difference basically between a GM and a person who wrote a novel. And I got into saying it's the what versus the how. So everybody knows what happens. They all plot out. We do these outlines. We do these, if you're like me, I do bullet points. We know what happens. And when people talk to us at cons, they tell us what their story is about. But when it comes to doing the how part, that's the actual act of writing. And in at least in a relationship to a game, that how comes about because the players create the how of how the events will fold out, where a novelist or an author has to come up with the entire how themselves. And that's part that's so difficult about being a writer, writing that first draft, because you got to figure out how. And sometimes you don't know how things came about.
Okay. Hold on, everybody. Kincaid?
Yes.
You're being quiet. Okay.
Well,
when you're on a panel, you got like raise your hand or try to work your way. Okay, you're gonna have to get used to this. Okay, you are just not getting into this universe. You're gonna have to get used to breaking it. People like to talk.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying listening. I think I'm the least experienced writer here. I'm not close to 1 million words yet. Charity and Mel really talked about some things that worked for me. When we do the writing sprints for Three Ravens Publishing, Charity had mentioned, don't think, just write. Thinking comes later. She sounded like Sean Connery in Finding Forrester. I was looking around for him. I was like, what is she talking about? But, she's that first draft's not going to be perfect. And people saying, things along the lines of, reading it out loud. That's good advice I've gotten from other people too. So I really like that. And I don't understand something. Why are we all jumping on good old William? And I refuse to call you hillbilly. I'm not doing that. And when I go to LibertyCon, I'll probably be the only non-drinker there. That doesn't mean I don't drink, but you guys, I don't think I'm going to be quite as crazy as all of you. But we will see.
You won't be the only non-drinker because I'll be there. And I can say probably
thank you, Michael J. Allen.
After the mead panel or the fermentation panel at LibertyCon, I'm having a room party. So we
I'm going to the party. I'm just not going crazy at the party.
So there's going to be hillbilly mead at LibertyCon.
No. You can ask hillbilly. I may drink. I am never, ever, ever drunk in public. Ever.
All right.
I have a very, very well-abused liver. Very.
We got close at Fantasy.
Yeah, no, but no, no, I am. I am always aware of the fact that I'm there as an author. So while I may be drinking, the second I start getting buzzed,
Yep.
I mean, Hillbilly can tell you how much water I also drink
Mhm.
because I don't like being drunk. I actually hate being drunk, but I just happen to like the taste of alcohol. So it's always one drink, water, one drink, water.
Well, okay, well that actually brings up a good part when newbies are trying to go out to these conventions and they're trying to meet people and stuff like that. Yes, it is a networking opportunity. Go talk to people. Don't hide in your room. Go up, talk to people, join random conversations. The Three Ravens crew, we had one with us, Isaac, who may actually be listening in and watching. We were so damn proud of him. He came out of his shell so far over the weekend. He randomly walked up and started talking to people and sat down at tables and starting conversations. I got so many messages from people. It's like, hey, your dude is cool, man. Can I send him a friend request? How do I find him? And it's like, oh my God, we were so proud of him because he came so far out of his shell. And it's just like, that's what you got to do. You have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes to do these things.
And even if
And
you're not a
remember,
drinker, mocktails are a thing. You can get something that's not booze, but you still need to be at the bar. It's just where deals get made.
Right, exactly. I mean,
it really
you
is.
do more work at BarCon than you do at the regular convention.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, regardless of Hillbilly, most writers tend to be introverts, which means we're usually sitting there hiding behind a drink or a book, not because we don't want to talk to people, but because we, unlike him, don't know how to just walk up and start that conversation. So come talk to us.
I
The
am also
worst we're
a
going to
author.
get is that, oh, hi, you like my books? Okay. That tends to be our default reaction. But come talk to us. You start talking to us about story, 90% of us will then talk your ear off because we love talking about story. So, I'm not going to say there's not going to be a line waiting to talk to Jim Butcher. But if you come talk to some of the others of us, we're going to talk to you. I will give you out my email. I rarely do critiques anymore simply because, okay, time.
Yeah.
But if you have questions and stuff, I'll chat with you all day long. Ask Michael.
Well,
Michael.
even on the level of you're talking to a middle-lister or somebody just a little bit below 6 degrees, okay? It is a true freaking thing. I mean, because of conversations I had at Superstars, hopefully one of my cigars got passed off to Danny DeVito.
Well,
Okay,
and I'm an
I missed this
interconnector.
story.
So
Well, just
No,
part
talk,
of the 6
Michael.
degrees because of the connections.
You know what was really cool is I was at a con and I got to meet Armin Shimmerman because he had published a book and stuff. Then he came over to check out my book, and we got to talking about Shakespeare. And before I know it, I'm in his Zoom Shakespeare class about rhetoric. And it's like, not only was it cool to kind of hang out with him a little bit, but the topic he was talking about was incredibly fascinating. And I would love to do more classes because Professor Shimmerman is just as interesting as Armin Shimmerman, the actor.
Wait, professor?
He's a professor. He's a college professor who teaches Shakespeare and Shakespearean rhetoric.
Really? I did not know that. Oh my
Yeah, I can't remember which university, but it's in California.
Actually, you know what? I wonder if he's going to come to Imaginarium. I bet you I could holler at him.
I was just going to say, you're going to email
So
him.
you're
Mark.
increasing the reasons I should come to Imaginarium.
No, I don't just randomly message people at all. No, it never happens.
what I was saying is I'm an interconnector, and I'm not the only interconnector author out there. So with people who aren't like Mel, I'm happy. Come tell me who you want to talk to, what you want to talk about, and I'll go up there and go, hey, have you met Mel? Have you heard about this that she's looking at? Totally interconnected. Not a problem at all.
Well, and at most events, it is just that if you start talking to one of the authors, it's not the big scary, they're not the monster waiting to make you feel like you're inferior in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter how many books they have published. Talking about the craft, I mean, that we do this for a reason. This is part of who we are. So when you want to hit on something that we love, that we can really kind of expand on and get into, then yeah, that's the approach.
I like what Charity said. One of the reasons I went into writing is so I could hit on things that I love. Thank you, Charity. That you said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Wait. Did you just admit that you're a whore?
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what I said at all. You are totally reading between the lines. I don't understand what you're saying at all. I'd love to write.
Okay. Do I need a leash for you? Do I need a leash? I'm
not going to rule it out.
I can talk to Jenny Posthumous, and she'll knit me up a leash for you.
All right. Good luck with that. I'll be joining you with me. I'm like, come on, buddy.
1 king per panel.
1 king per panel.
I'm kidding. I was joking. Come on. I couldn't help myself.
Have we established a safe word at this point?
No, we have not.
My safe word is apples.
Shit.
Why is it that I can forget somebody's name 5 seconds after they said it, but I will remember that lasagna is his safe word for the rest of eternity?
Who said lasagna? Did I say lasagna?
It's okay,
sorry. That's my bad.
Trying to keep up with 2 different chats. Damn it. And I had something before we went off on that tangent there.
Which tangent? We're on like number 7.
I don't remember at this point. Oh, somebody propositioned. Yeah, Smell propositioned me.
Dude, not you. Sorry. I could have you without propositioning you.
That's fair. Yes, that's fair. Crap. Well, okay.
Okay, so next question. If a new author approaches you, what is the best piece of advice you can give them to get published?
Don't give up.
Scott.
Follow the guidelines.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
good one.
Basic rule number 1. Follow the freaking guidelines. It's simple.
How about finish the book first?
Finish the book. You don't want to pitch a half-ass or just a couple of chapters or,
know your market.
Yes.
I mean, at least as best you can. Definitely look into, weigh your options between pitching to a publisher and doing indie and kind of see, because sometimes having that control is really, really nice. But if you don't know what you don't know, then maybe going with a publisher is the better way to go. But I definitely explore both options so you go in with eyes open.
Don't pitch in the bathroom.
No.
Oh,
God,
don't
no.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm serious, Mel. I'm serious.
No. Lucienne Diver, she actually told this. Somebody got the key to her hotel room and left a manuscript and a query letter on her pillow in her hotel room.
No.
I remember.
Do not do this.
That's blackball right there.
Okay, I don't care how desperate you are to be published.
Oh,
that will not work.
Look, she didn't catch me. What's the problem?
Okay. All right, now here.
She had to move her.
You want to get blackballed, Dick? That's a way to get blackballed, and that's a way to get blackballed from Southern fandom.
Yes.
Another way.
It's not cool, people. If you really, really want to be traditionally published, jump through the hoops.
Another
way.
And that's why
do it indie.
Michael.
And that's why following the rules is so important, because it's a tiny industry. And if you do something like that, you're not just blacklisted from one publisher. You can just forget them all.
Okay.
Because they all talk.
Something else that everyone needs to remember, especially if you're up and coming, you're trying to make a mark and you're trying to get yourself in a place. I dealt with an issue over the weekend.
Sorry.
Mind your P's and Q's. Okay. 1, I let an author go. He came to visit. He came to be part of 3 Ravens. And I dismissed him because of his actions. And it's shit that you don't go down. And as far as I'm concerned, he is done with me. And if I ever see him, it's going to be a bad day. There's certain things and certain lines you do not cross, period. Common sense. Doesn't matter if you've had a drink or not, because it will get you blackballed with publishers. It will get you blackballed in fandom, and you will never get invited to anything. And we all know that all of us struggling indies, exposure is key. If people know who you are, then you get passed around. But if you get that black mark, it's even worse.
And there is such a thing as Writers Beware, which is with the Science Fiction Fantasy Writers of America Institute. So it goes both ways. If something really, really bad happens to you, you can report it there. And if you have someone that you're meeting that you are not sure of, you can go check out that list to see, is this person already got a reputation, especially when you're starting out, because you don't know everybody yet. You haven't heard all the stories yet and such. So that's a resource for people when you're trying to decide to work with someone or not.
And when it comes down to publishers, if they're asking you to pay to publish you, walk away. That is a scam. That is a vanity press. Walk away. They will publish anything as long as you pay that $5,000 or whatever the hell it is. A good publisher will pay you, not you pay them. Now, if it's something you're wanting to do the family book or whatever thing, that's different.
Okay, so I'm going to now start the religious war. You guys ready? Pantsing versus plotting. Yay, nay, where do you fall? And what advice do you give to people who come to you saying, well, I don't know how to plot. I only know how to pants.
There's pantser, plotter, and plantser.
Yeah.
No. We aren't talking about plantsers. Plantsers are just absolutely the taboo verboten me.
But I'm a plantser.
But the reality is the best of us are always a hybrid at some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have some.
What you need to do is you need to learn you, the writer.
And try them all before you give up.
Yeah.
And different projects might have different things. So like if you end up becoming a tie-in writer, you probably need to be more of a plotter than a pantser, because you're doing this for a corporation like the Disney company, or pick one, Marvel, whatever. And they're going to have a deadline, and they're going to have things that they expect to see in that, and they'll have requirements and stuff. So in that respect, you'll be a plotter, even if that's not your natural state of being. But they need to see evidence of what you're doing, versus if it's your own IP, you have the flexibility of like, I'm going to plot this one, I'm going to pants that one, and I'm going to plant the third one down into the ground.
Well, there's the major differences, like David Weber. It's my understanding that he writes 60,000 word plots, outlines, and then he goes and writes the freaking novel. But then you got Brandon Sanderson, which actually sounds like he operates more like me and Michael J. Allen, where you've got bullet line statements of, this is happening in this kind of order, and then you roll and start writing because you've got the basic gist and your roadmap, and then you write all the meat. But then I have pantsed when it came down to writing Smuggler's Run with Chris Woods, but that was more of screw with your buddy, try to leave them in a lurch where they had to figure out how to get out of it in the next chapter. And it was just fun. We wrote that in less than a month, and it was a blast.
But because you're a sadist doesn't mean the rest of us are.
Now, but you can be a hybrid, and it's okay. You don't have to be one or the other. You find what works best for you. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
My point.
So, I'm sorry, Mel.
No. I ended up talking over you. Like I said, I'll talk. But
I didn't want to say anything, but you're right.
Authors. Yes, I will. This is why he invited me on here, because I'm awesome. But do it works. Pantsing, plotting, doing what Megan and I do a lot, which is plantsing. I literally know people who do what Weber does. Everything, all they do is then add dialogue. I also know people who go, oh, boy and girl meet, they kill each other's parents and run to Gretna Green. And that's the extent of their plot. And they make lots of money off of doing it.
What book is that? Because that sounds awesome.
I don't know. I literally made it up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is
You
our
may
next
take
project. Is
that
what you're saying.
plot.
She was
Yeah.
pantsing as she
Have
was
fun
speaking.
with it.
This is our next thing.
Yeah, I generally do
So,
both.
like,
I'm more of a
boy meets girl, kill each other's parents, run to Gretna Green, or Mars. Mars would probably be more fun. Oh, we
Let's-
lost somebody
we
again.
lost somebody.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
call.
think I was back for
The
a
The
other
other
while.
Michael.
We're gonna do a project together.
It was the topic. You scared him off.
Yeah, I like to plot, but I don't plot. I kind of like William, I think. I like to plot so I can pants as I go. If I have a good general idea, and I find that, I mean, this was always working for me anyway. When I used to do speeches in high school, the better I did my rehearsal speech, I could ad lib things as I wanted to, and I found that was true with my writing. So I do plot out. I don't plot out every single little detail, but I do plot out. Hey, I'm going to do this. Let's make it happen.
Actually, what's funny is that's how I prefer to do presentations. So I do speaking every so often. I actually tend to have my bullet points on the slide and the occasional random note below saying what I want to make sure I mention. But I actually prefer that because that way I can adjust my speech to what I see the audience doing. If they're all like, we have no idea what you're talking about, I can expand. And if they're like, yeah, come on to the next thing, I can go, you guys know all about this, and move on to the next point. It makes life a lot easier. I never will be one of those do this step by step speech. It's more of the whole, this is what I'm going to talk about today. And I could do the same presentation 10 times and it will be different every single time based on what I've learned and how the audience reacts to me.
Well, you can adjust it on the fly. I mean, that's the best part of it.
I have to say, I'm a pantser. Like in general, I dive through the story, whatever comes up, whatever happens, wherever the character leads me. As I'm writing, there are usually points when I start to go, okay, I see this going this way. And I might make a little note somewhere like, okay, look at this particular aspect of what this character is doing, because I feel like this is what's going to happen later on. But beyond that, I just kind of let them fall into really horrible circumstances and try to figure their way back out.
So it's been really interesting. Normally I pants. I normally say, I know X has to happen, Y has to happen, and then this is how the story ends. And I write towards that. The book I'm writing right now, the main character is pregnant. So it's been really interesting to both be pantsing and have a really defined stepping stone, because it doesn't matter what you do. At some point she's getting morning sickness, and then the baby starts kicking, and then she has doctor appointments, and then she has contractions. To have both this, I get to pants all of it, and this is absolutely defined. It has been the weirdest writing experience of my life because I've never had a dual plot line before.
Well, and I think, I'm sorry. I think maybe book one in a lot of series are going to be pantsing. You know, when you're starting the structure, so it's you might have that idea, you might have that core, or that like you're talking about, where you have certain attributes of the character, certain things that they have to go through. But I think any first book in a series or any first book in a world is really kind of pantsing.
Well, you got to figure out what you're doing. I mean, half the time on that first book, you're just trying to figure out the basic gist of the world and universe and characters and how everything intertwines. And
Well,
there's a lot in that.
You still have to do
2 and 3 and 4.
You still have to do a lot of outlining for a series, because you have to be careful about the growth curves, the power escalations, how what you're going to add in book 3 is going to affect book 1, because otherwise you're retconning, which is one of the problems that I ran into with my first series, is that I realized that I had introduced something, and when I really looked at the physics of it, went, oh my God, I just killed the universe. So I had to find a way to update the main character's understanding. So you really should do a little bit of outlining, a little bit of foresight building, even for that first book. And I'm
If you're
mostly a pantser,
intelligent,
so
you will.
Well,
Okay.
and like Michael Allen said, you retcon. There's always going to be some things that you just didn't foresee were going to come up later and stuff. But updating the understanding of your character is a great way to retcon because that's real. We do like believe something is true, and then we learn better and go, "Oh, my understanding of that has now shifted, and I realize that everything I thought was true before is actually a little different than what the way I understood it." So that is allowable to a great degree. I mean, you do want to be aware of breaking your world, like Michael said, but don't get too frightened of it either, especially if you're starting out, that you're not going to think of everything because you just won't. It's a living document until you publish, and even then, there's some wiggle room in its afterlife. So you just do the best you can, and just give yourself an idea of where you're going, but know that you can always fix it.
Okay, I want to backtrack real quick back to the networking, BarCon, all this and that. Something very important that I screwed up early on. When I was doing this podcast in its previous version, back when I was under the pen name of Timothy Dean, I had befriended Taylor Anderson, author of the Destroyermen series. He had turned in book 3 of the series to Rock. He got on the podcast. He came on multiple times. It got to the point he just called me up and said, "Hey, you're not going to believe what I just did in the gun shop," because he's got his own gun shop. He's a gunsmith. And I was still muddling around down here in the weeds. And book 4 came out, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I put my friend up on this pedestal. And I regret doing that because I lost a friend. I almost lost a friend. And when it came down to time where I was writing Flux Runners, and I wanted a lovable alien creature that everyone would just be adoring. And that's when I called him, because I kept coming back to his cats from the Destroyermen series. They were just awesome. So I called him. I apologized. I explained to him why I put him on that pedestal. Apologized again. And we talked about this issue and talked through it. And he was like, "Well, just there's all kinds of alien cat creatures, so just use my cats, just change the name." Like, and I did. You got the same ones. We even one of the crew members, actually the Tuckerized version of my buddy, who loves the series just as much as me, and he used to be the co-host on here. His character was the one that was like, "Holy shit, it's just like the cats out of Destroyermen from Taylor Anderson." I gave him a little plug because it's like homage, because it was such an awesome series. But none of these guys, and I told this to Kevin J. Anderson at Superstars when we sat down, and we sat for probably about 2 hours talking IP over a beer. And I told him this story, and it's like, because I get a little bragging rights every now and then, because I was emailing back and forth with him about Starflight, and I was telling him like Chris Woods, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been doing this, man. You guys, just cause." And I was talking to him. It's like, it's all good. I know you didn't get to be in Starflight. It's all good. You were busy. It's like, I still got the bragging rights. I got to, bust my buddy's balls because I was emailing with Kevin fucking J. Anderson. He's like, "Don't do that." It's like, well, hold on. And that's where I went into this entire spiel about this. Don't put them on the pedestals. They're just people like the rest of us. They've just been through more than we have. They've done more work than we have. And they've gotten themselves up there. They're just people. So don't put them on that pedestal. Don't fanboy and fangirl. I mean, if you do it in the back of your head, or go back to the hotel rooms like, "Yeah," and then go back out and talk to them like a normal person. Because otherwise it's going to be a put off to them. They won't want to talk to you. Yes, Kevin J. Anderson is an amazing guy. Oh, wait, hold on. You guys don't see that there. Love talking to him. Love talking to Jonathan Mayberry, James Owen. Everybody I met at Superstars was just awesome. Except for maybe that male person. I don't know.
Kevin's great. You're right. He came down here at one point. It was the first time I really got to talk to him, and it turned into like a 6.5 hour discussion. So yeah, absolutely. Fountain of knowledge, wonderful guy.
Well, and it's not just the authors at Superstars too. There's also like people like Mia Cleve who keeps, messaging us and stuff. She's one of the best editors out there, and what is it, book producer, overseer? I don't know exactly everything she does. It's just she does it really well.
She does a lot.
She does a lot.
There we go. There's her plug.
There we go.
Go check her out. She's cool. She does real good work.
Yeah. I've had a short story done by her and stuff, and it was just phenomenal. And those people too have a great deal to offer, and advice wise, business wise, interpersonal wise, because you're dealing with people in this business, and we're human, so human stuff happens whether you're drunk or not.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one thing that new authors really have to try to do is kind of expand their writer community. I mean, not just in networking, but in support. When I first started writing, when I got actually serious about it and I tried to finish my first novel, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going wrong. I didn't know what the next step was. I didn't know how to get there. And I had to muddle through on my own because I didn't know anyone that I could work with. When I started going to conventions and I started, putting myself out there as a guest author, as someone to teach workshops, as somebody to be on a panel, I started to talk to other writers and see, that my struggles were not just me. So that's always nice when it's not just you that's screwing everything up. But it was also that support system. And in general, I have yet to find more than like one or two writers around that aren't willing to step forward and help you when you ask for help. And that's phenomenal. There aren't a lot of careers, entertainment, arts that people aren't willing to just dive in and say, you know what, I've been here too. Let me help you out. And it's just a phenomenal.
That's what's kind of wonderful about our profession too. Yeah, we're not really in competition with each other because we all share the same readers. Unlike like with actors and musicians and stuff, they're sort of competing for the
Who's
same.
hiding a demon?
We can share audiences. Yeah, I think we got a demon on the podcast again.
So it is not. In regards to that, if you write romance, and that's a big if you write romance, take the time to look up your local RWA chapter because you will get a lot of support from other romance writers. You will get the help, you'll get the critiques and everything else. For the rest of it, my biggest word of advice is this is a really small world. You may think that it's huge. If you start bad-mouthing one person, you will be amazed at how fast that will travel and how fast you won't get blacklisted. Blacklisted isn't the right word. That people will be like, oh, you shouldn't work with them. They either don't appreciate or they badmouth people. In the writing community, I am absolutely astonished sometimes that 6 degrees of separation is much closer to 1 once you start writing and talking to people. So if you have problems with someone, unless it is something serious, and I want to stress this, there are predators everywhere, be aware of it. But if you just have a bad meetup with somebody, don't badmouth them, don't nothing, because you will be amazed at how small this writing community is. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to put as best a positive spin on every interaction you can get. However, if something bad happens, oh my dear God, tell us, because Lordy, I don't want to make this into a Me Too. It isn't that. I am saying if somebody's a jerk, don't spread the word that they're a jerk because you're the one who's going to get labeled of it. Be aware, it is an extremely tight, extremely small community, and we all know each other, or we know somebody who knows them. I bet you right now, other than James Patterson and Stephen King, those are the only 2 authors that I know of that I don't know somebody who knows them. Think about that. And I'm nobody. Literally. So be careful how you interact with people, because how you act will burn you before you get to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure that came out right.
Yeah, no, it came out right. I mean, it was just like what I was talking about with what happened and went down, at Superstars. Common sense. You're trying to be a professional business, or you're trying to present yourself in a professional way so that you can connect with people and you can make these deals, you can get co-authors, you can get publishing deals, find editors. Don't be a dick. It's that simple. Now bouncing back off, and I don't know who the Facebook user is that commented that. I learned the hard way with the Chattanooga Writers Guild. They unfortunately had a lot of chest thumping going on, and if you weren't literary, you weren't shit. I write pulp. And their writing groups, the critique groups, it was the same stuff every month, over and over again. Nobody's progressing anywhere. And it was a lot of chest thumping going on. I got out of that, and eventually, a few years ago, I restarted my old critique group, but it's not a critique group anymore. It's a self-help group where we're actually getting together, we're talking things through, and we took a step farther and we started producing product. Oh, the engineering idiot. Okay. We started producing product and taking each of us are taking turns editing the work before we put it out, doing little flash fiction collections, because it's helping all of us seeing what's going on instead of just, oh, well, your stuff is crap, and never getting any help of why it's crap, because that's what a lot of what I got in the critique groups through the guild.
So that is
Scott,
the number one thing to take. William, Michael, you
go, Michael.
Go ahead, Mel. Ladies first.
No, she's already talked enough. Your turn.
Okay. So 2 things real quick. So what Charity was saying earlier, absolutely do not try to do this by yourself, because I did, and I've made pretty much every mistake in the industry other than being a jerk. To Mel's statement, I had a hero writer, somebody that I adored his writing. I loved what he was doing. I had an interaction with him early on at Dragon Con, and he just bit my head off. And then 2 years later, here I am. Now I'm published, and we end up on the same street corner, and he apologized. He was just having a really bad day. So yeah, I understand that people can be people at the same time that we're still all in it together. Yeah. You're right. There are some people that will get on a panel and start bad mouthing, and that's a problem. But if I had gone off and said so-and-so was just a jerk, I wouldn't be friends with him now. And like I said, he was one of my heroes.
Always assume that person you've talked to has had a bad day and move on. The other thing I'm going to say, and I say this out of the person whose articles are always correct, who never drops a letter from their possessives and always puts an apostrophe. Yeah, have somebody proofread your stuff, because my best. This is going to be my favorite typo of all time. She had lots of tiny brains in her hair. I had to read it 4 times before I found the error, because my mind corrected it every single time, because I knew what the character looked like. I knew that she had tiny braids in her hair, so the fact that they were brains had nothing to do with that.
But that's forest for the trees, and you have to set things aside so you can come back and look at them with fresh eyes. If you go into editing after writing, you're not going to catch the mistakes.
No. Somebody reported it to me 6 months after the book was out. I pulled it up. I still read it 4 times before I saw the error, because I knew what the character looked like.
Well,
I had no doubt that she had braids in her hair.
Your brain knew what you meant to say. It's one of the processes that we go through. And that's something, that's why the earlier comment about reading stuff out loud, because you can't get that translation error then. Because when you're just seeing it on a page, your brain fixes it. It knows what you meant to say, and it just puts it in there for you. But when you're forced to engage that other part of your brain by actually speaking the words, you pick up those errors.
Well,
Or you hire
most of
people
the
like
time, but
Maya.
I will add to that real quick is I'm an audiobook narrator as well. And you can train yourself into the habit of correcting what the type on the page as you're speaking it. So there's a asterisk behind that one. You can teach yourself to correct it automatically and still not hear it.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of editing issues. Careful what you say at the cons. Be nice to everybody. I sure can't wait to go to Chattacon or whatever it's called. Woohoo!
I'm getting a freaking leash for your
I'm gonna
ass.
stand in this corner and I'm gonna turn slowly.
Make sure there's a muzzle included, Scott.
I'm not worried. I'm gonna go have fun.
Just remember, just know this: there are a number of people that have plans for you, young man.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm older, I think, than all of you, by the way. Mel's saying no. I don't know. I think I am because I'm older than. I think I'm older than everybody.
No, you're not.
All right, we won't say the ages. I'm just saying we will see. However, yes, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Look, we have a guest.
Uh-oh.
Does he not look horribly impressed?
I saw him walking behind you. I wasn't going to say anything, though.
He is so heavy. He is 18 pounds of muscle.
Oh,
there is no fat on this cat. And he's like, I don't want to be here. Why are you picking
muscle
me up?
or lasagna?
Oh, no, muscle. There is no lasagna on that cat.
He's like the Dwayne Johnson of cats.
Whoosh. Yeah.
We are down to the last little bit. Do we want to go back around and tell everybody where they can find your stuff? We'll start back at the bottom. Charity.
Everywhere. Google me. I'm everywhere. I'm taking over. You don't know. I'm all over the internet. I've taken over okay. So I'm on Amazon. I'm on Barnes and Noble, 3 Ravens. Dragon Soul Press, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. So it's everywhere.
Mel.
You can find me at badashpublishing.com or Mel Todd on Facebook. And if you look for Badash Books, that's ASH, not ASS. Badash Books, just about everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, etc. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will find, if you look, me reading micro short stories. Hey, free stories.
There you go, Mel. That's a win right there.
Okay, look, it was a scatological story. And if you know what the word scatological means, let me add dragony scatological story.
Oh, God.
That hilarious.
What's wrong with you? That's something I would write. Wow. Okay, Michael J. Allen, your turn.
Yeah, I'm with Charity. Publish wide, international. Find me whatever store you like. Other than that, you can come look me up at deliriousscribbles.com. And once you're there, you can hop on my Discord channel and watch TV with me or chit chat, ask questions about writing. Always happy to help.
Megan.
Yeah. You can only find me on Amazon right now because I'm taking advantage of the KU, reads thing. And this is the first of both of my series. So please check them out. If you want to find me personally, you can find me on Facebook as well as Instagram. And then I do have a TikTok channel. It's mostly me either giving you inspiration or talking about how to sell at cons piece by piece for my Conquest series. So look me up there. I love to talk to people. I love questions. So reach out, check out my books, and then come talk to me about them because I love to talk about my books.
Kassiani.
You can find me pretty much everywhere. My books are on Amazon. You can find me on Facebook at Michael K. Falciani. Same with Twitter. Same with Instagram. I'm on TikTok. That is a crazy fun thing to do. So you can find my work everywhere. I even have a website. It's almost done. A couple days, it should be finished. And then I will be all set, ready to go.
Okay, and I am William Joseph Roberts. You can find myself at williamjosephroberts.com or over at 3ravenspublishing.com. Check out the Imogen Awards for Imaginarium. We have 7 titles in there, along with I have mine and Chris Wood's Smuggler's Run. I think it was in the sci-fi category. So Imaginarium is going to be interesting this year. 3 Ravens is kind of taking over the place. That's all kind of beautiful. Let's see. So the latest out that we have at 3 Ravens, Staff of Chaos. Check it out. JF Posthumous. You can check out the full list of Imaginarium, or the full list of finalists for the Imogen Awards on the Imaginarium website, or the article I threw up on Sci-Fi Radio. Don't forget to check out the open call section on the 3 Ravens website. We got a couple of other anthologies coming up the rest of the year. Check out Cobblestones, Faye Productions, Sci-Fi Radio, Phantom Horse Brewing for some of the places I hang out and people I know. If you want to go to the Superstars Writing Seminar, you can use 3 Ravens SSWS2. It's on the website in the sidebar. Just go look it up. You get $100 off of registration if you're a new attendee. Writers of the Future, go check out the free writing course. Anything that you can get to learn and take a step up, absolutely. If it's free, even better. Okay, like, follow, and subscribe. All of our folks that are on here, check them out. Keep up with all their stuff. And a little reminder for all our veterans, cops, first responders out there, you are not alone. Reach out to a brother or sister. We all are just a phone call away. And I will leave you guys at that as soon as I can figure out where my button went. And take it easy till next month, y'all. Bye. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where is it? There.
Ever have that kind of day where everything gets weird? Step out in the morning with your coffee to see all your garden statuaries have come to life and are fighting each other? Head out from work and your car gets fatally pecked by a giant chicken. Eat at your favorite restaurant only to have your childhood crush slaughtered before you get dessert? No? Huh. That's what happens when you deal with the Staff of Chaos. Book 3 in the Lady of Death series by J.F. Posthumous.